I would like to call this meeting to order of the City of Laredo Historic District Landmark Board. It is February 9th, 2023. The meeting should have started at 12 noon, but it's 12:11. I'd like to have the roll call of members.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. Vanessa Guerra from your planning staff. Mr. Orlando Navarro, our planning director, sends along his regrets that he couldn't be here. He's accompanied the city on their Austin trip, so I'll be acting on his behalf during this meeting. So I'll go ahead and take roll. Rebecca Sepulveda.
Present.
Robert D. Gonzalez. Maria Elena Morales. Cristina Davila Villarreal. Wayne Nance.
Here.
Stanley Green.
Here.
Priscilla Iglesias.
Here.
And Mark Gonzalez.
Present.
With that, Madam Chair, you do have quorum.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask the members to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like the members to review the minutes of the regular meeting of November 10th, 2022.
I have reviewed minutes. I agree with him.
I second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any objections? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Approved. Item 6, public hearing and consideration of the following. Consideration of a motion to consider the removal and repair of wood rock found on any architectural elements of the first and second floor porches located on the east and west side of the primary structure on lots 1 and 3, block 167, Western Division, located at 1708 Victoria Street. This property is within the St. Peter's Historic District. Do we have a staff presentation on the
Yes, we do.
subject?
You can put the PowerPoint. Item 16. Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, overview is applicant Juan Abran Paz is the owner. Property descriptions, location is lots 1 and 3, block 167, Western Division, located at 1708 Victoria Street in the St. Peter's Historic District. The request requiring board approval is the applicant is proposing to remove and repair wood rock found on any architectural elements on the first and the second floor porches. Citation violation on January 11th, 2023. The applicant received a stop work order for construction without a building permit and construction without approval from the Historic District Landmark Board. On February 1st, 2023, a citation was issued for the violation. Letter sent 2140 against 0. This is the aerial view. East view from Main Avenue. South view from Victoria Street. Site plan where it's highlighted where the wood rod is located on the east and south side of the structure on the first and second floor porches. Photos before. Continuation. Photos currently. Continuation. Continuation. Material specifications. The applicant will be using all these different types of materials for the balcony railings, balcony floors. It is going to be pressure treated pine, pine beaded ceiling, pressure treated pine for the balcony and for the railings. 15-gauge and finish nails, multi-purpose screws, timber LOK screws, grip right screws, and pressure treated pine depending on the wood rot on the first and second floors. Staff recommendation, staff supports the proposal of staff supports the removal and repair of the wood rot found on any architectural elements on the first and second floor porches located on the east and west side of the primary structure in the following ways. Correction, sorry, I meant to put south side, not west side. So staff supports for the following reasons. The proposed scope of work complies with the City of Laredo Historic Urban Guidelines, which states deteriorated architectural features shall be repaired rather than replaced whenever possible. In the event that replacement is necessary, the new material should reflect the material being replaced in composition, design, color, texture, and other visual qualities. As per the City of Laredo Historic Urban Design Guidelines, the historic architectural elements define the character of the structure. Therefore, the proposed scope of work will retain and preserve the historic integrity of the building. Staff general comments. Any improvements which are approved by the Historic District Landmark Board shall also comply with all building code requirements and other regulations as provided in the Laredo Development Code. Approval of the Historic District Landmark Board does not guarantee approval of a building permit or any other permit which may be required. It is recommended that all existing improvements utilize the following resources as a guide: the Secretary of Interior Standards for Rehabilitation and Guidelines for Rehabilitating Historic Buildings, the City of Laredo Historic Urban Design Guidelines, City of Laredo Historic Preservation Plan. 4, no other improvements, changes to the building site, or new construction on the property shall be permitted without prior review and approval by the staff and/or Historic District Landmark Board to meet compliance. 5, as per the Secretary of Interior Standards for the treatment of historic properties with guidelines for preserving, rehabilitating, restoring, and reconstructing historic buildings, all proposed scope of work should be physically and visually compatible to the original materials and features of the historical structure. Proposed motion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Do we have, let's see, the building official is here. Do we have any other,
Good morning.
If you'd like to open the
do we have any other staff input before we do the public?
we have building department staff that are here to answer questions, when the need arises.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to hear a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Good.
Yeah.
Do I need a time to speak?
Yes.
Yes,
sure.
if you
Well,
can introduce yourself.
Yes, hello, my name is Juan Orampas. I'm local from Laredo. I came back to Laredo about 6 years ago with my degrees and everything, and I came back to get back to the city. I found it really important as growing up and seeing people leave the city. I just found it kind of discouraging, but at the same time motivating to make my own move here and make my own mark, in the city, because it means a lot to me. So I came here and I found a building downtown, as you see, a 1708 Victoria, and I came with a purpose to do exactly as the historical board has described in their guidelines, and coincidentally, the reason why the building is already in the condition that as it is I wasn't completely aware of the whole application process. However, coincidentally, I still aspire to do the same thing that the guidelines ask for. If I can go to the images provided on the application, I don't know whether or not it could get through over my phone, because I wasn't able to print the images themselves. But if I could, I don't know if I could turn this on or.
Yeah, he'll turn it on
Okay.
the overhead. There it is.
All right. So So, as you can see, the reason I got into this, I apologize. The reason I got into the whole renovation of the railing was because I started finding that it was useless, or not so much useless, but it seems as if like some of the parts in the railing were to an extent of rot and deterioration that that I found little to no recourse in redoing it. Although we do have some pieces that we have preserved, and we've been sanding them and trying to that's probably way too far away for you
Mr.
guys.
Paz, I think these are in the PowerPoint presentation. We're
Okay.
glad to put them up.
Okay,
If you
if they
prefer.
can, that would be great.
Yeah, if they can put up the PowerPoint.
So, as you guys can see, the condition and the wood rot was,
There you go.
I found it to a point of no return, as far as some parts of the railing. We still have the railings. I know they're not in the pictures, but the railings are in the backyard, and we have kept them. And we've been taking the pieces that we find suitable, but there's a picture of the before on the house. If you can go back and find that picture. I mean, that for me is wishful thinking, right? Like, it seems as if, like, this picture is not truly reflecting on the conditions of the property right now, as far as, like, the railing that was removed. I don't know when this picture was taken, but,
Those are, if you look at Google Maps they're from May 2022, right? May 2022.
I find that unlikely because I purchased a house in 2021 and I have those plans.
I can, if you want, we can put it up. Yeah, May 2022.
That bougainvillea I've never seen before. I guess what I'm trying to say, whether or not, I'm still under the belief that I'm not taking these railings out just because I don't like them or anything. I'm actually replacing them with exact, like materials. I mean, we analyzed that these were pine, but instead we got treated pine because that preserves the wood for longer in outdoor areas. So that's why we decided to go with the treated pine. And so going back, all the railings that are considered, we've taken and we set aside, and the ones that are to no repair, we've decided to completely replace. And so in taking those pieces, we have them in the back, and we've kind of been waiting for this hearing as well, just to see what you guys' thoughts were on that, as far as I see it. I think we're taking the proper steps in order to inspire to have it look the same as it was before.
That's what we needed to hear.
Yeah.
It's gonna have the same pattern, the same color, the same paint, just be new materials? Is that correct?
Well, the materials is correct, but as far as the paint's concerned, we've actually painted the building white in comparison to what it is now. So right now, the building is white. If you look at the current pictures, you'll find that the building is actually white now.
Right.
Or it's like, yeah, it's exactly white.
But it seems that since you're salvaging existing, what are the posts,
Yes.
that you'll be replacing with similar cut?
Yes, as you
Similar
can see,
height.
like, there was a picture I had provided in the application
Yeah.
where it's, those are the pieces that have been made. If you see the bottom left one, those are, I already have.
Oh, there's new one.
Material that's already been made, and it's just kind of waiting for approval, really.
So that's the post, the
Yeah, those
purely white one?
are the posts from the railings. And as you can see on the top, like, that's termite, that's termite deterioration, and the top right, you could see more of that. And even the bottom.
But to be clear, the bottom left.
The bottom left,
What you're showing is a new
the new one
replacement
that's gonna
post.
come in, yes.
Oh, okay. It looks identical.
With your permission, of course.
What about the pieces above that, the Victorian
The
fretwork?
freeze or the,
Those parts were, if you can scroll down,
Because that has been completely removed. Have those
It
been?
has been, but those parts have been preserved as well.
Okay.
But with the pieces that weren't salvageable, because, I mean, as far as I see this picture, if you zoom into the middle part, it's already broken there. Some of them were like just completely off at that point, and so we decided to have them, the pieces that we did need to have them replicated with the same material.
So the upper trim will all
Yes,
be
every-
returned?
The thought's this, we wanted to look just as it did. And as far as I see it, the only reason that I'm doing this is because there is wood rot. Like, there's no other reason why I'm going about this other than the fact that there's wood rot. And if you go back to the images on the current state of the house, right there. If you could see, right there, if you could zoom in, you can see that the balcony in itself, it's in very weak shape, and obviously, like, safety is like a priority to myself as well as a homeowner, and I think I don't want people to be, I want to err on the side of caution and replace all these materials with new materials. As far as it's as far as it being like correct or incorrect, I mean, that's just a judgment view. The reason I was also kind of vague on the materials was because there's a lot to determine once we get in there and see how much wood rot there is, how much we need to replace. These variables are considerable, and so I couldn't, like, as far as the materials are concerned, I put the materials that I believe we need, but if there's anything else, it would probably be more wood or less wood.
Are you doing this work yourself, or do you hiring a contractor?
No, we have a local individual here that's working on it. And so, yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not the handyman, but I do have the people that can help me in this matter.
You've established that you're replacing wood rot, and nobody's arguing with that. Our job here is just to make sure that you replace it like in kind image.
Absolutely.
That's really our priority. That's the focus, and what I'm understanding from you, that's what you're going to do.
That's exactly what I'm.
Minus the bows. Minus the bows. Yeah, you're gonna try and make.
Well, yeah, I mean, this building, I mean, it's a beautiful building. I was fortunate enough to acquire it. It's my first building. I'm really proud of it, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like,
Okay.
like as far as I see it, like, I mean, this is my building, and it's my baby, you know. Like, I wanna make it. I wanna be proud of it, and I wanna make the historic board proud of it as well. Like, I believe that it's a good piece to have retouched as far as I see, and I think the historic board would be pleased with the results after it's done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know that we have a slight quorum here, and some have to leave soon, so.
I have one question about to the building staff. What makes this work require a building permit?
It's structural. Jerry Pinzon, building official, members of the board. So there's a lot of structural repair that's been done without regards to the building permit. And so we don't have an issue with keeping it historical. That's not, which is the process, you know, why now? You know, why didn't you do it before? Why wasn't there a permit obtained? So that's why a stop work was issued and a citation was issued.
Thank you very much for clarifying that.
I also have a couple of questions, just also really so that our board can understand how the process works for someone that's acquiring a new building in the district. For you, what was the process when you purchased the home, whether through your realtor or, you know, through city departments, however you acquired it? Was there any notification that you were in a historic building? Was there any type of education on what the process would be to own a home in that district?
I did know it was historic. However, and I understood the responsibility in being in this district as far as preserving the historical significance of the buildings. However, what I wasn't completely informed about and what I was like wondering, because as far as I see it, like I was replacing wood rot, and I mean, when I hear the word building permit, it just doesn't like,
Register.
it doesn't register, like at least, and I did, as a matter of fact, I had called the building department concerning the balcony, and I expressed that there was wood rot, and I couldn't tell you exactly who I spoke to, it was over the phone. And I asked, this was about 6 months ago, and I asked whether or not it was okay, and they're like, wood rot, sure, that could be replaced. And that's kind of like where that conversation, but then, I mean, I was only at that point was looking at the balcony, right? And as we kept going, we found that there was more to be done, and obviously, like, the way I see it, like, clear guidelines of anybody telling me, hey, you know what, you have to apply for this. I'm like, well, I didn't get that when I called and asked if I could get wood rot replaced.
Yeah.
There was no, hey, but you know what, like, this is historical, you better call them first or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah.
It was more of like, well, wood rot's good, okay. And so I set it aside, and then I focused on it 6 months later. And, I mean, I didn't call again to say, hey, I'm about to do that wood rot change that I asked about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I just kind of went forward with it, and hence why we're here now with everything removed at this point. So that's how it happened. Like, I wanted to explain to the board as well how this ended up happening and how it happened, and obviously I'm on notice.
No, I think that's something that our board has talked about a lot, is education on, I don't know if what partnerships we need to make with realtors and local companies here that will let buyers know, hey, this isn't a district, it has certain requirements that you will need to do. I think that's something that we're lacking on our side of it. So that's the only reason why I bring it up, is so that we can understand it from someone else's perspective. It's not to intentionally violate any type of codes or anything like that. It's just because there's lack of education for someone that doesn't know.
Well, Madam Chair, following up to the requirements of the building permit, in the interest of full transparency and disclosure, we also noticed, and under consideration is simply the repair of the balconies. However, during our analysis, we noticed that there was the construction of a ADA ramp, and it looks like we've been advised by building department that it will require a building permit, and that will also, Mr. Paz has been advised that it'll require another application for that, but we just wanted to make sure that, everybody understands that that will require a separate application to come to the board for the ramp that looks like it's already been constructed. And I guess, I don't know if you have any other remarks. If you had remarks regarding the partial building permit, the issuance.
We don't have issue partial
Can we vote
permits.
next time, or is that gonna go?
If the permit is issued as a overall, you don't get partial permit, then, you could, but based on what is already done, we need a permit, a plan for the whole, everything that has been, what it's planning on doing, what's already happened, and what they're planning on doing.
Definitely. And so we deal with competent contractors who are on the city's list, right, that know what the rules are and how to follow those rules, and so that's
I mean,
the process.
If I may with that, just for the whole ramp that was just discussed. I mean, the only thing I have to say about the ramp, it's up to code. It's like, this wasn't done, I hired an architect. The architect knows his measurements, and that was also done with some diligence, right? As far as the permit's concerned, I can obviously apply and they could go and check it out and see if it's up to code. I think that's what we're looking for at this point.
Right. And
But,
that's not in our purview.
yeah,
But it does alter the exterior, so that would also have to come before the court.
Okay. Good point. Well, we will lose a quorum if we don't take action now, and so I would like to invite the board to make a motion to close the public hearing and perhaps take action.
So move to close the public hearing.
Second.
And would you like to,
I move in favor of staff's recommendation.
Second.
motion and second to close the public hearing and to approve the staff recommendation? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We have your response.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
thank you very much.
Oh, yes. Doesn't tear you up too
So
fast.
you're saying that the ramp will come before us later?
Actually, they started
we had-
cleaning the teeth, but they always miss.
We did advise, we did advise them that it would be better to address everything that he's done. Because I think it's a ramp and I think something else that has been constructed without a permit and without approval that alters the exterior. So he said he only wanted to deal with the balcony in this application, but what it's gonna do is delay his building permit in total. So he'll have to come back. Okay. And we advised him in writing and he knows, but I just wanna make sure that it's clear, you know?
Oh, yeah, I'm glad they don't.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no problem.
So,
Do I need to vote on
we're about to lose a quorum. We have only adjournment. Is that correct?
That's it, that's correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.